So today we're going to be talking about the hypocrisy of the liberal anti-racist. Now, I know this is a topic that I don't usually cover. This is outside of the scope of what I usually talk about, but shorts about this kind of thing have been popping up recently on my feed, so I figured that I might as well talk about it. Now, let me make it clear. I am not saying that there's anything wrong with being against racism, because that's all that anti-racism truly means at the end of the day. Anybody with a functioning brain understands what's wrong with racism, how irrational it is, and this is actually an issue that unites both the left and the right, despite how many times the left tries to claim that we're horrible, racist, evil monsters that hate all minorities and all non-whites and stuff like that, which is a narrative that unfortunately I even bought into, so I know firsthand how ridiculous this narrative is. The difference here between us is that we actually have a good definition of racism and these guys do not. So these are the kinds of people that go around screaming that everything and anything is racist. They're the kinds of people that go around talking about white supremacy, white nationalism, and colonialism, and they have no idea what those words even mean. And obviously, when you speak on things and say things that you don't understand because it's just a narrative that you've been fed and you blindly follow it, you're probably going to end up contradicting yourself because you have no idea what you're saying, and you might even become a hypocrite and expose your hypocrisy. And that's what we're going to be exposing today. So I have some shorts that we're going to be watching. The first one is called African Christian Student Shock Secular Liberals. And it's the first one we're going to be watching, so let's start it.
Bunch of white nationalists push Christianity down your throat.
Now let me give you guys some context. So this is an African Christian. He's preaching about Christianity, and then this liberal girl pops up to basically tell him, without saying it, that he's not religious because he thought for himself. He's religious because the white people pushed it on him. So basically she's saying that he can't think for himself, and she doesn't understand the irony in the fact that she's white and she's basically telling a man of color that he doesn't think for himself, and that basically he just follows whatever people tell him to follow, which is exactly what these guys do. But she just doesn't understand the irony in that she's denouncing white nationalism and white supremacy and stuff like that, while at the same time saying that this man of color just doesn't think for himself. And clearly she doesn't understand the irony. Neither does she understand the history of Christianity at all. She doesn't understand, well, really anything from the sound of it. But I actually do understand the history of my own religion, which is why I have a source that talks about this very topic and is going to show you historically that Christianity is not a white man's religion. Don't take my word for it. The source is on screen right here.
Speech mode
We're
talk.
going to go look through it. We're going to
Black.
look at the relevant part. It's going to be in the description if you want to read through it completely. We're just going to be reading the relevant part here.
Black Christianity first arrived in North Africa in the first or early 2nd century AD. The Christian communities in North Africa were among the earliest in the world. Legend has it that Christianity was brought from Jerusalem to Alexandria on the Egyptian coast by Mark, one of the 4 evangelists, in 60 AD. This was around the same time or possibly before Christianity spread to Northern Europe.
Now, I understand that some of the liberals in the audience, they don't really have that great of reading comprehension or comprehension in general. So I'm going to put it in terms that they can understand. Christianity was not invented by the white people. It wasn't even with the white people first. It spread to the white people. And you would know that if you actually studied and understood history, the history of Christianity, which I do, but clearly you guys do not. And these are the people who are supposed to be very educated on racial history or whatever these guys say. But unluckily for this girl, this dude, he was educated on it, so he ended up schooling her.
The story of this African Christian student shocked clickable play.
So we're gonna watch that.
Christianity was in Africa before Europe.
Yep.
Whoa, did you hear that? Christianity was in Africa before Europe. Yeah, like Ethiopia. Go ahead, keep going,
20%.
brother.
The Ethiopian Bible is older than the King James.
Thank you. That's exactly right.
The argument that Christianity brought, that colonialism brought Christianity to Africa is completely wrong.
Why is it completely wrong?
Because Christianity was already in Africa before Europe.
Christianity was in Africa before Europe. Everybody hear that?
And one thing you need to know is that Christianity is not a European religion.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. One more time.
Christianity is not a European religion.
Man, you're awesome.
80%.
Christianity is not a white European faith
90%.
religion. Keep going, brother. I like
So
you.
Jesus wasn't white. like
Jesus
you.
was not white.
Yeah, these are like obvious facts if you actually understand where the New Testament documents were written and things like that, but these guys don't understand that. So they don't bother learning, and they don't even understand the irony in their own position. But this isn't the only time that they've basically made themselves look really dumb and expose their hypocrisy. I'm going to show you this next one here.
The story of Black Group. CNN just said the most racist clickable play.
Donald Trump is getting 22% of the black vote, and she was trying to say that's because black people are too dumb to know better. So this is what the left thinks of you, blacks.
Here's the deal. Perception is reality. And so when you look at the data that was provided in this poll, it talks about how people feel. And when people decide whether they're going to the poll or whether they're not going to the poll, it's all about how you feel in that moment. And so while the facts may not align with their feelings are dictating their reality. Their reality is that they said that they feel better or they felt better when Trump was in office.
They don't feel like they're doing better. They were doing better.
Play.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. These guys, they cannot stop. They cannot stop. These are the same kinds of people who are always talking about how they're champions for minority rights. They're always talking about how, oh, we want you guys to think for yourselves. Don't go with what those racist white people on the right say. Even though, listen to us, even though we're white too. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. These people cannot stop contradicting themselves. They basically just accuse people who don't vote like them as people who just don't know better, who just act off of impulses. She basically did just say that black people are not smart enough to actually understand, but they are. Again, they don't understand the irony in their position. They're white, and they're basically telling these people, oh, well, think like us or else, right? Think like us or else. You know, we're in your best interest. If you don't vote for us, you're selling out. You're betraying your own race. You know, you wouldn't want to go against the people who have your best interests at heart when they literally do not. It is a fact that the minority communities are doing better when he was in office. That was just a fact. That's why they're voting for him. But they expose their hypocrisy in trying to say, oh, well, they go feelings over facts. No, that's what you guys do. That's what you guys do constantly. They don't do that. Okay? But unfortunately, this kind of rhetoric about, oh, we know what's best for you. We vote for our policies because we care about you, even though our policies result in disasters for you. This actually manages to persuade minority communities, and we're going to see that in the next short that I have here.
Black Republican vs. liberal smiling face with clickable play button.
Black Trump supporters, is that something that's counterproductive, or is it okay? I think it's okay for people to vote for whoever they want to vote for.
He's very racist himself, and how you could like just vote for someone like him who's just doesn't care about races and just puts them down all the time. I just think it's very shocking and disappointing.
So they're supporting him. What are your thoughts on black Trump supporters just in general?
These guys do not understand the meaning of the word trolling, I guess.
They're sellouts.
Amir is a black Trump supporter.
If you support Trump, you don't support anything that looks like us or even wants to assist us in making our world a better place. So I just think that you're a sellout, and I don't understand why.
I mean, if selling out means appreciating that black people are being released from jail, that black unemployment was at an all-time low, that securing funding for black HBCUs, that makes appreciating those things makes me a sellout, then I'll be a sellout all day, because that is helping the black community. It's helping us thrive.
Well, he said it all for me. I would like to ask that lady, who told you that, by the way? Who told you that voting for right-wingers is akin to basically selling out and betraying your race and being a race traitor? Who told you that? The white liberals in office? Did they tell you that? So who's really following the narrative that they're being fed? Because it's not him. Okay, but these guys, their hypocrisy just never ends. It never ends. That's to be expected with liberalists, but of course, they don't realize it. They don't realize that while at the same time as they are trying to say, oh, we uplift minority communities, we're for them, they're trying to rot the values and things that actually make those communities be successful. Things like faith and family. Very important values that minority communities have that actually make them succeed. They're against that kind of thing. They hate that kind of thing. They want to convince them that, oh, those values are tools of the white people to oppress you, even though their values are actually good values. Oh, no, those were brought in by the colonials. So don't listen to them. The white people are trying to keep you down. You know what? Even if, let's say I were to grant you that Christianity was brought in by the colonizers, and that's where the minority communities got it from. So what? So what? Colonialism had its good and bad things, right? Just like everything else in the world. Okay, so let's pretend that we grant it. If they did bring Christianity through colonization, so what? It gives good values. It gives a belief system. It gives people a purpose. So what? What's wrong with it? See, these guys are claiming to be anti-racism, and yet they claim that anything that might be colonial or white is just terrible and awful, and we need to get rid of it and replace it. So they're trying to rot the actual good things that minority communities have. And that's why they're hypocrites. They're stupid. They want to take away the good things that make those communities thrive and replace them with garbage, and then at the same time claim to be uplifting and supporting them. They will call you somebody who just follows a narrative that was pushed onto you by the white people for daring to question a narrative that was pushed onto them by white liberals. It's completely hypocritical, completely nonsensical, not to even mention their policies like affirmative action, which are they're basically saying, oh, positive discrimination. But what they're really doing is, by the way, that's like an oxymoron. That doesn't exist. But they're basically trying to say, oh, well, because if you don't know what affirmative action is, basically, oh, we're going to hire minorities based on their race. They don't really have to be qualified. They don't really have to show very much. They just have to be applying, and they just have to have certain skin colors, and we'll hire them. What they're basically saying is your only worth is your race, and you're too dumb to get things done on your own, which is why we have to institute policies to make you guys get hired, because otherwise, without us white liberals, you guys would be nothing. Like, that's basically what they're saying, and they have the nerve to call themselves anti-racism. They have the nerve to call people on the right racist. We don't institute policies like this. This is ridiculous. But anyways, that's basically all that I wanted to cover. I would suggest that for anybody watching to actually familiarize yourself with history and with these terrible policies that these guys are trying to implement. And that's that. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. And if you want to see me cover more issues like this, let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.